Hey everyone, this is my 2005 Gsxr 600. Having a problem where the dash cluster arbitrarily comes on and off. It first happened when I started the bike up, started up normal, drove about 2 city blocks, waited at a light, and then as I pulled away from the light, it completely shut off. A few hundred yards later, it came back on, and then from that point on, my speedometer never worked. It completely stopped working. But after that, on that drive, maybe about 5 or 6 more times it came on and off, and when it would shut off, the needle would stay pinned wherever the RPMs were last, which I find is interesting because if I shut it off, if I turn it on and then shut it off halfway through the starting sequence, the needle falls back down even after I kill power to it. So, that's got to be a hint for something where the needle just gets pinned. It'll do that if I unplug the dash, but this wiring harness connection back here is very clean. No corroded wires or anything, it's not loose. And same thing with this part of the wiring harness down here, no corrosion. The bike was dropped before I got it and it broke the headlight tabs a little bit, but I don't see any physical damage to the wiring harness, so I don't think I need to start ripping this apart and checking wires. I do have lights installed on the bike, but they're hardwired right to the battery and they're not killing it, so I don't think that's an issue here. I heard that the rectifiers often go bad on this bike, so I have this cap pulled off. I want to call it an alternator, but the coils inside of there look good. No obvious signs of damage. And I guess I could start it, hold the bike at 5,000 RPM and check the voltage on the battery, which is about 12.7 right now. But I don't think that's the issue because the bike runs fine. The engine doesn't die. The battery holds a strong charge. It starts right up in the morning. It's not sluggish on the starter or anything. It's only this dash, and my temperature gauge works. When my odometer works, it works great. It's responsive and everything, but just the arbitrarily shutting off. I can't get it to stop working so that I can see which wire isn't getting current or anything. So I'm kind of at a loss here. I pulled the side of the bike off. I'd like to find this issue. If someone has like a similar problem, if you could post up and let me know what you did to fix the issue, I would appreciate it, because the only thing that I can think of next is just arbitrarily replacing parts. Just replacing my dash cluster, seeing if that's the issue. That's kind of pricey and not very effective. So, yeah, if you could chime in, I'd appreciate it. Thanks, guys.